All right, guys. So we finally made it. We made it to the Velma series review. We're going to be doing it episodically. Episode 1 and 2 will be separate videos like I always do. And I don't know if I can make it to episode 2, to be honest with you, after watching episode 1. But we're going to go over it anyway. Now, I'm sure all of you guys are aware of who Velma is, right? She's from Scooby-Doo. And this entire show is based within the Scooby-Doo universe, although it is the adult quote-unquote version of Scooby-Doo, and it's Scooby-Doo without Scooby-Doo. It's like Scooby-Doo's not even in this show at all so far. I don't know if they're ever going to introduce him later down the road. I would be surprised if they actually do, because they want to make this entire show about the new woke Velma. This is what they want. Mindy Kaling is the one who made this entire series, and she has basically self-inserted herself into Velma and into the TV series. You're going to see exactly what I mean when we go into it shot by shot. But of course, before we do, guys, if you are new here and you are enjoying the content, I would greatly appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 11,000 subscribers soon. We're working our way there. Saturday Night Hypnosis, our live stream every Saturday, was the biggest one we've had ever, and it was awesome seeing the growth. So if you guys continue to support, I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into the review. Now, I want to give you guys a fair warning. This TV show is absolutely cringe in every way imaginable. I don't know how much more cringe it could possibly get, honestly. And every time I say that, something seems to one up it. I thought Witcher Blood Origin was worse than Rings of Power in terms of overall just terrible, and now you have Velma that is just god awful. I'm telling you, this show is bad, and you're gonna laugh your ass off in this review, I promise you. So the TV show starts off exactly how you would expect, right? You have Velma introducing herself, and when she introduces herself, she does it in a way that sets the tone for the entire series. It's just like a super fem boss kind of series. Let me just play the clip so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about and have a better understanding. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but if I do, support your boy with a subscribe. Here we go.
My name is Velma Dinkley, and this is my origin story.
So, of course, like I said, they're going to be rewriting the entire thing through the eyes of super woke Mindy Kaling. This is what they want to do. Mindy wants to transform Velma into her own psychopathic version of Velma, and she's just going to completely bastardize this character.
Sure. Normally, origin stories are about tall, handsome guys struggling with the burden of being handed even more power.
Anti-man, because she's a hardcore feminist. Expected.
And if they are about girls, it's usually like, hey, what made this hot chick go crazy? So to remedy this, I've decided to finally share the bone-chilling events that drove me to assemble the greatest team of spooky mystery solvers ever. Yeah, it was me, not Fred and his weird sex fan.
So, God, it's so bad. Just to make it very clear, they want to retell this entire series, right? So with Scooby-Doo and everything, they are going to aim to make Fred to look so stupid beyond imagining. And it's the whole reason why Fred is the only one that wasn't race swapped or sex swapped. It's the only reason. Fred being the glistening white man, right, with blonde hair, they purposely kept him as such because Mindy was going to make him look absolutely stupid. The original Fred was not that way. The original Fred was the one who usually came up with the ideas, and Velma was the one that helped execute them. Fred was very smart. He was intelligent. He was obviously very strong. He was typical masculine kind of dude. They completely cucked him in this show. It's going to be like mind-blowing to you if you know the original Fred.
This is my story, told my way. And it starts with a murder, bitch.
So, oh God, it's cringy, man. Like the typical Gen Z kind of like talking style. This is exactly what they're trying to attract. They're trying to attract the Gen Z crowd, the younger crowd. That's what they want. So I'm going to skip forward. It goes to the high school, and they introduce good old Daphne. Now, within a minute and a half, okay? Now, I want you to keep in mind about something, guys, as you're watching this. I can't play this out like I did the last clip because of obvious reasons that I'm going to mention. This is a TV show about high school, okay? That means under 18, right? Under 18. And they are having... this is the most I could probably show. They show an entire scene of underage girls in the shower. All right, I just want to make that very clear. They show an entire fucking scene of underage girls in the shower. All right, this is something I know progressives are into some weird shit, but this is like on the nose weird stuff that they're trying to do. I gotta skip forward to. I guess this is okay to show. Like they basically just turn this into a whole like sexual innuendo, where they're trying to say, oh, just admit we're all perverts, as they're staring at each other naked in the bath scene. And then they end up fighting in the bath, and then when they fight in the bath, Velma shows up. And they always constantly talk about racial stereotypes. Daphne loves to mention the fact that she's an Asian woman now. Velma does the same thing. It's really pathetic. So Velma shows up and they end up fighting. And then there's a scene here where it's like, oh, it would be so hot if you two kiss. This is, yeah, see, it would be super hot if you two kiss. This is something that they kind of like foreshadow Velma and Daphne having a thing, because obviously they need to make Velma some sort of gay, whether it's gay or bisexual. Velma's going to be that in this TV series. This is the kind of thing that they want to do. This is like their entire, you can tell that the writing team for this show had an ideology that they wanted to push. And I don't mean that just in a typical way. I mean, seriously, their entire show was based off certain ideologies and they forced it into the show. And the entire show is written around that. So the entire show is written around hardcore feminism, completely anti-man in every way imaginable, LGBTQ, everything you could possibly think of from a progressive talking point, it's gonna be there. So fast forward out of the bathroom scene, you have the first actual murder. So the show is very gruesome, okay? It's very graphic. They literally show that someone is killing these teenagers and stealing their brains for whatever weird reason. So a body ends up coming out of a locker, and it shocks everybody because the head is obviously cut off and the brain is missing. It's some crazy shit. We're going to get demonetized for this, but I don't care. Then Velma ends up having these weird visions, right? Very, very weird visions. Let me see if I can play it out for you guys.
Create with my indifference.
Who killed Brenda, Velma?
You're not real. You're not real.
Who isn't real, sweetie?
So she's having these visions because she's thinking back to something traumatic in her past. They reveal it later on in the show. Now, fast forward, the detectives actually keep questioning Velma, and they talk about how Velma's mom went missing, which is kind of leading into that whole vision thing that we were talking about. Then they end up just pulling out guns on Velma.
Closer to finding Doodad.
Dia. Her name is Dia. You know what? We're done here. Peace.
Unfortunately, we're not done here, Velma. You're a suspect in Brenda's murder.
That was probably my favorite part. The fact that they pulled guns on everybody who hates Velma. I actually really liked that part. It was good to see Velma almost get shot, because nobody likes Velma in this series. Nobody likes any character in this series, just to be clear. So they end up keeping interrogating her, skipping forward, and when they skip forward, you see that a ton of missed calls from Norville. So this is a big issue in this show as well. Norville has replaced Shaggy, right? The reason why Norville replaced Shaggy, in my opinion, is because they couldn't have a black character named Shaggy. They would have thought it was probably going to be racist, right? So, and I also think it's a rights issue too, because Shaggy and Scooby-Doo are big IPs that I don't think this show necessarily was able to afford. So I haven't seen Scooby-Doo. He could come later down the road for all I know, but for right now, Shaggy is called Norville, and Norville apparently is a super simp in this show. Hardcore simp. He is simping for Velma so hard to the point where they wanted to emasculate him. They don't want strong men in this show, okay? The women have to be the girl bosses. The men have to be stupid and weak. Every typical trope that you can imagine and expect, it's in this TV show. So they show Norville constantly calling Velma nonstop, and she doesn't like him at all like that. And she likes using him because apparently she uses him for his smarts, which is weird because Velma is supposed to be the smartest person in the entire mystery crew. Like, I don't understand why that even makes any sort of sense within the lore of Scooby-Doo. Like, Velma literally is the smartest, but she's begging Norville for homework answers. You're going to see later down. So we end up meeting Fred for the first time, who not only just doesn't look like his normal self, obviously they made him a lot smaller, but they made him completely stupid, and Daphne obviously is completely in love with him and is trying to make him do things. The funny thing is, Daphne forces herself on Fred often in this TV series, and I mean often, to the point where he's not exactly comfortable doing it like right off the bat like that, but she kind of forces him on. So there's a whole kissing scene here, and then you see the whole, like, they try to unzip his pants and what. I'm telling you, it is very on the nose. Now, of course, she has to grab his butt because obviously typical tropes are men usually go for the butt and grab it first. But no, because it's a girl boss, she had to be the one to do it first.
Not now, Daft. Gee.
And obviously, he's not into it like that. So this show is so stupid. It's such a stupid, stupid show. So we're going to fast forward. You see a little bit of Velma's family that, of course, is now a Indian family, it looks like. I don't really know what Velma's supposed to be. I'm going to assume she's Indian in this show. You have her family using hashtags or speaking in hashtags because clearly that's what Gen Z wants and that's what Gen Z does. And you have this whole scene over here.
I know, but it's about priorities.
Bro.
You need a real camera to capture real, unmanufactured moments.
Bro, her mom is like a social media kind of like, oh my God, bro. This is crazy. This is like, what? This is not Scooby-Doo. Like, how do you how do you bastardize this show so much? I mean, this is a next level bastardization. So they end up going to the funeral of the girl who got killed. I'm gonna skip that because it's just stupid. It really is just typical tropes that they try to utilize to be kind of like on the nose. Like they want to seem like they're writing it like She-Hulk, where they want to pretend like they know exactly what's going down, right? They know exactly what's going down, and we're so hip, we're so knowledgeable on what's going down in entertainment. Look, we're gonna write a show that everybody's gonna hate because we knew they were gonna hate it. It's like, yeah, you wrote a bad show. Of course people are gonna hate it.
So guilty that it was my mystery solving that had caused her to go missing. I started having horrifying hallucinations.
This is all your fault, Velma.
So they go into this whole reason why Velma was the reason why her mother went missing and why she's having her hallucinations. Now, this is another big scene right here. We played this on Saturday Night Hypnosis, where it goes to show just how simp-worthy Norville actually is for Velma and how they don't have a fundamental understanding of the character Velma. Watch this.
There you are!
Norville? What the hell?
You didn't answer my VMs, voicemails. And then my dad heard me call you the B word, so I lost my phone for 24 hours. But I had to find you because I still don't know if you listened to my VMs, voicemails, let alone responded. Did you?
So he is such a simp for Velma. It's sad. It really is sad. Like, this is what they made a black male character into. Like, they couldn't make him into a masculine character. They had every opportunity to make it into someone good, and they made him into a total simp for Velma, who obviously just is so mean to him. And you'll see exactly what I mean.
Yes, and I don't want to do our math homework together. Just email me your answers like always.
Yes, of course. Though I left you some other VMs.
Now, why would Velma, the smartest character, need answers for her homework from Norville? Like, what is the reason? They have no understanding of the characters that they're trying to adapt because they don't care. They don't care. Plain and simple, they don't care. Now you have this crazy scene that goes to show just how violent this show actually is and how vulgar it is. So when Velma ends up getting picked on at school, watch what happens when Fred defends her. Like, what the bro, this is not Scooby-Doo, okay? This is not Scooby-Doo. Anybody who is trying to look at this in the hopes that they get some sort of modern Scooby-Doo, you're not going to get it. You're getting some weird high school vulgar drama that's based off of the Scooby-Doo IP so loosely, and I mean very, very loosely, only by name, really. That's it. So Velma ends up trying to solve a little bit of a mystery, goes to this gentleman's house, and realizes that he gets shot, and not by her.
Oh, what the hell?
And it ends up being from the detectives who she ended up being interviewed from earlier in the episode. I'm telling you guys, this show is completely stupid. It really is. There's really no reason to continue with this episode because it is worthless. But they do end up finding at the end another girl who has gotten her brain stolen, which means that the murderer is still out there, even though they thought they caught him beforehand. So this is how they start their show. They started with a whole bunch of underage sex scenes, a whole bunch of obvious feminist tropes, a whole bunch of obvious political leading tropes. They try to insert their ideology every chance they get. It's literally on the nose. It's constantly reminding you of where they stand in this TV show. And it's sad because it doesn't have to be this bad. It really doesn't. But it is. We knew it was going to be this bad. We knew that this show was going to be terrible in every way possible. And the person who's behind it is just an ideologue. She just completely wants to write bad men. Men are bad. Men are evil. Men are stupid. You know, oh, everything has to be progressive. Look at all these sexual innuendos. We need to talk about sex with underage kids. Like, this is what they want to do. And they made a TV show based around. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for sticking around with me. I hope you did enjoy the video. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought of today's story. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.